I was leading the march before, some woman just came up to me and said, "Bet you don't even know where it is on the map." I turned around and I said to her, "Hun, I am Palestinian." She looked at me and she went, "Oh, sorry." So isn't it mad how when the oppressor comes to the oppressed, says something, cat gets their tongue when we fight back, and that's exactly what the Zionists are doing right now.
I am a mother, the same as those Palestinian mothers who have got children and grandchildren. There are hospitals still being bombed. Mothers are now writing their children's names on their kids' legs so that they will be able to identify them if they get hit by a bomb. People should be really angry because I am so angry.
1, 2, 3, 4, occupation no more.
We stood with every single nation that has gone through occupation, and yet when it comes to Palestine, the world is silent. I'm particularly ashamed of the city council here, flagging everything in red and yellow and blue. But when it comes to Palestine, I'm told to F off back to where I came from. And I'll tell you what, why do you think I'm here screaming at the top of my lungs? Because I want to go back to where I came from.
I tell you now, brothers and sisters, it shames me more to say shame on the bloody Labour Party. And I call upon those MPs in the Labour Party to grow a backbone, stand your ground, and you campaign for a peaceful dialogue to end the siege of Gaza. And we call for an immediate ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Free, free.
The FBU in Merseyside and the National FBU have proudly stood in solidarity with people against apartheid. Our support remains with the people of Palestine. Firefighters in the UK have refused to remove protesters from the roofs of buildings. It happened in Leicester, where firefighters refused to remove people from the top of the Elbert building, where they make weapons that are sent over to Israel that kill Palestinians. And when Liverpool City Council shamefully allowed an arms fair to take place in our city, protesters once again took to the roof of the Liverpool Arena. My brothers and sisters, refuse to take those people down. We stand in solidarity with everybody who fights against that. We are not an enforcement arm of the law. We are humanitarians.
The Labour Party now is left with a bunch of cowards who will not speak up. They haven't got an ounce of integrity, an ounce of honesty, an ounce of compassion to speak up and stop genocide. The pound of America is dying, and this is the death throes. They will drive us into World War. They will take us all with them if they could. This is why the Palestinian struggle is one of the most important struggles that every single person in this country has to take up. We will never, ever have any peace without justice for Palestine.
Free, free, Palestine! Free, free, Palestine! Free, free, Palestine!
Suella Braverman, in her mind, in her perverted Tory mind, she said, to my mind, there is only one way to describe those marches. They are hate marches. Well, I'm looking around now at the hundreds of people here from all over Merseyside, and I can see in their eyes not hate, but a search for justice and peace for the Palestinian people.
From the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free!
from the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free!
When the BBC reports on protesters in Russia, they call the people who are protesting dissidents. We, here today, are all dissidents in solidarity. And our solidarity with the Palestinian people will never, ever be broken. Be proud to be here today. Be proud to be a dissident.
Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire!
So what can we do as trade unionists? Well, I tell you what we do. We go back to our workplaces on Monday. We pass motions calling for ceasefire now, calling out the Israeli apartheid state. Collect for the charities from your workplaces, but more importantly, raise the issues that have been discussed today. Make sure that the working class and the trade union movement is on the right side of history, not the wrong side. In our thousands, in our millions, we are all Palestinians! In our thousands, in our millions, we are all Palestinians!
They're absolutely in support of the Palestinians, and us as people who have a voice that we can use, unlike the Palestinians, are here to shout for them, to speak for them.
All I can think about when I think about Gaza is that gurney with all those little prem babies lined up. They've had to take them out the incubators and they've wrapped them up and they've lined them up on a gurney, and that will stay with me till I die. I cannot believe what I'm seeing.
God, my stomach turns. It's just incredible how far the Israelis will go. In fact, anybody out of intelligence would not support that. But it still brings tears to my eyes.
I never thought that in my life I'd see genocide like this, where an industrialised nation, armed to the teeth, financed by the West, commits mass murder against civilians, and I think it's abhorrent that our politicians aren't doing more about it.
My tax pounds and your tax pounds are paying for this.
And I hate the fact that the majority, or 80% of our politicians, our MPs, couldn't bring themselves to vote for a motion calling on the international community to call for a ceasefire. They're an absolute disgrace. We're led, or should I say ruled by monsters. We're not taken anymore. We're fed up with their inhumanity. We're fed up with their immorality.
Occupation no more!
1, 6, 7, 8!
Israel is a terrorist state! The Palestinian struggle is not just a cry for justice, it's a blistering battle for the most fundamental human rights that every living soul on this planet should inherit. I mean, right? But why should it change for Palestinians? They are trying to get rid of all indigenous Palestinians from Palestine, but that won't ever happen because in our thousands, in our millions, we are all Palestinians!
I'm just a nan and a mother, and The whole thing, the whole war and the way Gaza's been treated has just sickened me, absolutely sickened me to my roots. And I just felt like I've got to get out and do something. There's not a lot I can do, but I can join the numbers and show that I'm standing for Palestine.
Because there's just going to be continual wars, and there has been for, this problem didn't start on the 7th of October. It was right back in 75 years, even before 75 years, 1948, 1917. Go right back to how the Middle East was carved up by the Western powers. We've got to look forward to a better future, and we need to build links between the working people in Israel, Palestine and the greater Middle East.
I'm also here to register my outrage at my government and the Labour Party's complicity in this. They are the ones who are approving export licences and sending military aid while advocating humanitarian aid. It is also the case that in not so long from now, despite my disapproval, I will no longer be able to object to my money, pension fund, investing in arms company who are benefiting from this conflict.
Look what it's taken for the world to wake up. There's always been a movement in support of Palestine. It's always been on a large scale. But now, the horror, the complete utter disregard for the lives of babies and children. And it's not just babies and children, it's women and it's men. They're killing people indiscriminately.
You need to get out and do something, channel your anger, come down here with us, and you need to be on these demonstrations. I'll be here every week. My heart goes out to the Palestinians, Palestinian women who are there. They're no different than me. They're a mum, they're part of families, but they've been split up and torn from their families, and I can't foresee of how some of those people will ever recover from that.
Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
Support the NHS. Put the pressure on the MP to support the NHS. Don't sit back and let it go.
Ceasefire now!
Put pressure on the MP to support the NHS. Support the NHS. That's what Labour should be doing.
Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
Peter Dale, shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you!
Well, brothers and sisters, Bill Esterson has just sneaked in through the back door of this Maghull Town Hall for his CLP meeting. He thinks we didn't hear him, but there were people chattering on the phone saying we'll carry on with the discussion until he gets here. He sneaked in through the side way, he's gone up through the lift, and then they've locked the door so he won't get into the room.
Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation no more. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel is a terror state!
5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel is a terror state!
And all I'd say now is, all of those other Labour MPs who have not voted for a ceasefire, you won't come to us, so we will come to you. And we will come to you at your constituency meetings.
Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Stop killing children! Stop killing children!
There's so much going on in the world now, but the main thing is we need to stop this. We need to stop the killing, and the only way we can do that is by an immediate ceasefire. And then we want justice for the Palestinians. I'm a nurse, and my colleagues have been killed. Doctors have been killed, trying to look after. None of us here have had to do that. I can't imagine what it must be like for them. So we will continue to march and call out people like Bill Esterson, because you're a disgrace.
No ceasefire!
Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!